received a call. A body was discovered in a house in the Jamaica Estates section of Queens, which is a pretty exclusive area. The area is beautiful, the house is worth a lot of money, and the people that live there are respectable people. The victim in this case happened to be a teacher. The mother, not being able to reach him, had decided to take a ride to the house. When she got there, she discovered that the side door of the house was wide open.
Dennis! Hello? Dennis!
Went down the hallway and discovered her son in his bathtub, which was full of water. He's been sitting there for a couple of days. The uniform responds. And the first thing that's noticed in the house is laying on the floor in the kitchen is a gym sock, which has a brick inside of it, and it's full of blood. The house is a little turned upside down, but not bad. There had been some sexual activity right before he was murdered. It really appeared that this was like a passion-type crime. This guy was beat really bad. We then started to check into his background. He was very well respected in his community, and we knew that he went out to gay bars on a regular basis. So my partner and I spent the next couple of nights in every gay bar in the city, I think. We didn't get anything. So it was probably a week later, I get a call from a precinct in Upper Manhattan that they were investigating a double homicide. They wanted my help in going to a location on Hillside Avenue in Queens. They had identified a possible suspect in their homicide, and they just wanted to see if his name was on a mailbox at a certain location. So my partner and I drove over there. We went to the mailbox, and lo and behold, the guy's name was there. We called the Manhattan precinct and advised them of that. Get a call from the Manhattan detective again. He said, we've developed enough evidence to arrest the guy on Hillside Avenue. The building super just called me and said he's standing out in front of the building right now. He's got a white t-shirt on and a big gold medallion. We throw on our vests and we go lights and siren up the Hillside Avenue, which is on the other side of the precinct. As we start to roll up, there's a whole commotion going on. There was an emotionally disturbed person, and we see our guy. He's standing right there watching what they're doing. So we're able to walk right up on him. My partner says to him, "What's your name?" He blurts out a fake name. But at the same time, his girlfriend says his real name and yells at us for having the gall to ask who he is. This guy takes off. And I start running after him. I'm able to catch up to him pretty quickly. I tackle him. We roll down the stairs. I rip my pants. I cut up my leg pretty bad. Handcuff him. As I'm walking back to the car, I see my old informant. And it happens to be the informant that I'm supposed to arrest from the complaint that I got the other day. We look at each other, but we don't say anything. I mean, he knows not to say anything, and I know I'm not going to burn him for anything. We pick the perp in the car, we bring it back to the precinct. When I come back to work on the next set of shifts, I have to go arrest my old informant. My partner and I go over to his house, and I knock on his door, and he's there. And we say hello, it was like we're old friends. And then he says to me, "It's good that you grabbed that drug dealer for killing that rich teacher in the Estates." I was like, "What? How do you know about that?"
Man, I was close to that job, but I wasn't part of it, though. I didn't do anything.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. My partner's standing there saying, "Is this guy lying to us?"
Man, all I know is when you hit somebody over the head with a brick and a sock, it's got to be brutal, man.
I lit up like a Christmas tree at that point because we never told anybody about the sock and the brick. The press didn't know. Half the cops in the precinct didn't know. So we handcuff him because we have to make it look like we're arrested. We bring him down. We put him in the car. I put him in the back seat. I get in the back seat with him. My partner drives. And I said, "All right, take us to the house." We turn around, and he takes us right to the house, right into Jamaica Estates. And he said, "This is the house we went to." And they told me they were going to rob him because he was going to have a lot of money in the house. He proceeded to tell us that this teacher wasn't the nice guy that everybody thought he was. Turns out he was a pedophile, and he'd been abusing this drug dealer for years. The drug dealer assumed that I knew that he did the homicide. So when he got to the precinct in Manhattan, and he was allowed to use the phone, he called his girlfriend and said, listen, they know that I was involved in this homicide. The stuff that we stole is in a certain location in Queens. You gotta go in there and get it. We get an arrest warrant to bring her in just for the burglary. We bring her back to the precinct, and she really believes that all we're dealing with is this burglary. She was nasty. She wouldn't talk to us. All she wanted was her brother. Her brother was part of our homicide, and we didn't know where he was. She says he's out in Port Jefferson, Long Island, staying at a relative's house. My partner and I drive out to Port Jefferson. He's very apprehensive, and we tell him the reason we're there is because his sister's been arrested, and she wants to speak to him. I said, do you want to come back with us? And he goes, that's all you want, is for me to go talk to my sister? I said, no, that's what your sister wants. If we would have arrested him, and he lawyered up right then and there, we would have had nothing. So he gets in the back seat, my partner and I in the front seat, which protocol, if you arrest somebody, you're supposed to sit in the back seat with him, but we wanted him to feel completely at ease. We start to drive to Queens, and when we stopped for gas, he said, are you sure that I'm not under arrest? And we're like, no, you want to leave? Leave. In fact, my partner and I both get out of the car, we go in and get coffee in the gas station, we ask him if he wants coffee, and he sits there. We get him in the precinct, and after about 2 hours, he finally just broke down and started crying.
Things just got out of hand, that's all.
He had no intention of getting involved. His job was to drive. The plan was that the drug dealer, when he first got to the house, was going to leave the side door unlocked, get the teacher into the bedroom, and at that point, they'd see the lights going on and they'd know to come in. Two guys then walk in. As soon as they get into the kitchen, the teacher, who had forgotten something in the kitchen, confronts them. The drug dealer came. Picked up a brick, put it in the socket, and started swinging it. He continued to hit him till you couldn't even recognize him. I guess the years of abuse at that point came out, and it did become a crime of passion at that point, because he just kept hitting him.
Man, this is pretty bad, man. Come on. Help me lift him up.
In fact, as this kid was explaining to us, he was crying. It was so bad, it was so brutal. After that happened, they took a couple things from the house, and it turns out that there were no drugs or money in the house. I called a detective in Manhattan, and he confirms that this drug dealer made a confession. And there are 2 homicides, and I explained to him about our homicide. When we're starting to wrap it up, he just thanks us. He just thanks us because all he wanted to do was tell somebody about this. In fact, he had agreed to testify against the drug dealer. I think he was given 10 years in jail. The drug dealer is to this day still in jail. He got life on the 2 homicides in Manhattan, and he got life on the homicide in Queens. He's never coming out.